Let's uninhibit the ribbit.
Only shooting stars break the mold.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Brawl Stars. I'm Amy the Amazonian, and I'm playing one of my favorite commanders, the Gitrog Monster. Just in time for Halloween, it's our big spooky frog with an arm in his mouth. I'm even wearing my matching Gitrog Monster shirt. This is a gift from Elliot Rath. Thank you so much, Elliot, for this Gitrog shirt. It was part of a Secret Santa exchange, and it's one of my favorite Gitrog-related pieces of merchandise. It's my favorite. It's the only one that I have. This deck is all about putting lands in the graveyard, which is how you draw extra cards with the Gitrog Monster. This deck has a lot of lands in it, a lot of ways to play extra lands, ways to play lands off the top of your deck from the graveyard, and build up a big pile of mana so you can cast some big expensive spells. I'll say the big expensive spells you choose to put in a deck are pretty flexible. I've chosen some new nastiness, so new to Arena, like Emrakul, the Promise End, because your opponent will probably lose the game or leave the game when you play this card. But we do have some actually new cards in here, like Blossoming Tortoise, who really does replicate the Gitrog Monster's game plan of putting lands into your graveyard and bringing them back. I've also got some nice removal with Virtue of Persistence. I've got some extra good ramp. This is replacing Roiling Regrowth. Entos Restoration is just a better Roiling Regrowth. And of course, we've got one of my faves, not a new card, but just the one that I use the most in my paper Gitrog deck too, Scoot Swarm, because when you're playing a lot of lands, you're making a lot of bugs with Scoot Swarm. As far as arena-only cards go, there's actually one that I want to highlight here because it's one of the best cards for a Gitrog Monster deck. Vine Soul Spider, at your end step, puts a land into your graveyard, which means that if you have Gitrog Monster out, you draw a card. And you're also setting up your graveyard for all of those things I mentioned before that let you play your lands from graveyard. I took out Crucible of Worlds, replaced it with Conduit of Worlds. We've also got up here the Ancient Greed Warden that's doubling our landfall effects, and again, letting us play those lands from graveyard. In Arena and in just paper in general, there's a ton of different effects that are exactly the same as this, so you kind of get to mix and match which ones do you have, which ones do you want to play, and which ones do you choose to pair up with your beautiful Gitrog Monster. I also play Gitrog in paper. It's a fantastic deck. I have not been able to find my copy of the Gitrog Monster for about 2 years now, though, so I have been proxying it like a chump, like a chub-tobe, and we're gonna take our Gitrog here into the queue, and we're gonna get poggin' and froggin'. This hand has a good amount of lands to it, and a way to play extra lands. We don't have anything on turn 1 or 2 for ramping, but I'm okay with that. We can have a nice slow start as we go up against Soul of Windgrace. Just like us, they care about lands in a graveyard, but they can actually steal the lands from my graveyard. Here, I'll even put one in the graveyard for you to steal. So sometimes Soul of Windgrace is actually a land destruction deck, which, I mean, if you're in Jund, that's a thing you can do in those colors. Soul of Windgrace, though, able to discard lands for certain abilities, but most importantly, just gets lands out of graveyards when it enters the battlefield or attacks. It's very strong, and like on top of that, it's a 4-mana 5/4, so it can get some serious damage in. I'd say it's both good against what our Gitrog Monster is doing, and doing a similar thing to us. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how they've built their deck. We're gonna see some Ponzu. I mean, I hope not, but if it is, it is. So, I want to throw down Lotus Field this turn. I mean, I have the Green Warden to replay things from graveyard, but I could also save that for next turn with the Gitrog Monster, because that way I get to draw next turn. They're at 3 mana, which is enough to play Soul of Windgrace because they've discounted it, this goblin. They went for the Riveteer's Overlook because it automatically sacrifices. If I wanted to get the land out of my graveyard, I could have played the Lotus Field, sacrificed lands, and then gotten other lands out. Oh, hi, Nissa! Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not enough to play those cards. Play a swamp, play a frog, sacrifice some lands. Boop, boop. Draw an extra card. Oh, Lotus Cobra. So I have 2 Lotus Cobras in hand. Landfall, get me land. Landfall, or get me mana. Landfall, get me mana. Salad Transplant. Swamps or forest entering the battlefield gets them fungus. Well, that's a pretty fun guy. And he only costs 2 mana. We have to sacrifice, so I will. I have nothing to cast at instant speed here. Cool. Uprooting. Thicket. Nissa. Cobra. Land. I'm actually going to use this floating mana to animate one of my lands. My forest becomes a 2/2. Well, it gets 2 +1/+1 counters on it. That is not a swamp or forest. Prime time! Nice. So this looks like it's just a Jund lands deck. Not Jund land destruction, as I feared it may be. Gosh, I should update my kitty cat deck. Hey, Soul of Windgrace. Pretty cool. They got Argoth, Sanctum of Nature, and Bajuka. Don't you be exiling my... No! My land's removed from graveyard! Fine. Be that way. I do have Prime Time in my deck. It's a really good card. Landfall. Get me more. I can play a lot of extra lands this turn, since I have both Gitrog and Dryad out. I have to decide if I want to go for the lands from graveyard, or lands from hand, or lands from deck, though. Let's get the things out of the graveyard so they can't use them. That's my second land played per turn. This is now going to get me double the triggers. I'm going to play Oracle. See if there's a land on top of my deck. There is not. So I'm going to use this Kami of Bamboo Groves. Get 2 more lands here. And by the way, the Oracle was in Elf. That's why we got it. It was off Nissa's trigger. And do we want to play this? Sure. The Cultivator Colossus won't be drawing me any cards or getting anything in hand. But it is a really big green creature, which is good to have. What do we have? Mana. What are we going to use it for? I don't know, frog. I'll attack with a Gitrog Monster. Boom. Nice. Yeah, Primeval Titan's so good. So good. Hello there, Prime Time. I see you thinking about your moves. I like this beast token art. Oh, nice! Invasion of Ikoria to get something that costs 6. What non-human that costs 6 do I think they're gonna get? They already have a Prime Time out. Not Vorinclex? I feel like Vorinclex doesn't do that much. The 6 mana Vorinclex with Soul of Windgrace. They could be getting their own Ancient Green Warden. Oh no, they got a 5-drop. So they did this for X = 6, but they got a 5-drop. This is Ashaya. And since Ashaya and all of their creatures now are forests, it triggered Slimefoot. Oh, cute. Swarm Shambler. Oh, wait, is this secretly like a fungus deck? That's so cute. It's totally a fungus deck. Adorable. Oh, wait. Oh, it just seems like a fungus deck. So see how these have the A23 on them? They're being generated by Slimefoot. They've turned into a bit of a fungus deck. You know, as an amateur mycologist, I can appreciate that. Saproling Migration, get a couple saps. I'm a sap. I'm a big sap. Thicket. Draw an extra card. Oh, I need to draw even more cards. We're gonna get some triggers off Nissa. And our Lotus Cobra. What did we get in hand? Multani. That's a great elemental. We have a land on top of the deck. I'll go ahead and play that before I start shuffling. Ah, excellent. An Ashaya of my very own. We want to crack this open. The sacrifice of the land before we actually shuffle will get me the Ashaya in hand. Grab a forest. Comes in untapped. Oh, every day I am shuffling. Keep generating more and more mana. We want to draw another card. That Kazandu Mammoth is just a decent creature to have. But I can save this Fabled Passage sacrifice ability for next turn so I can get another card in hand rather than use it here. But since I have another land I can play for the turn, we're going to recycle the Fabled Passage again. Keep going. Grab all my basics. Float all the mana. Let's grab the Ashaya. Just gotta trigger even more landfall stuff. Bring out Multani. And the card on top of my deck is Interest Restoration. I can draw it using the Fabled Passage, and that will give me another card drawn, which, because we have all this mana this turn, I think sounds pretty good. Right now, we're just kind of in trigger heaven. And the more things we can draw gives me the better chances of winning the game this turn. So they said good game. We don't actually have a way to close it out right here, but our Multani and our Cultivator Colossus are huge. So we have like 3 gigantic creatures here. Totally see they can't break through this line. Good game. Oh, rats! It's Karamonix. Karamonix enters the battlefield and gets you a bunch of rats. And on top of that, rats, 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 rats. He's the big rat. Makes all the rules. I have 3 mana here and 2 pieces of removal, but they're kind of slow. This has a slightly better piece of removal for this match, Virtue of Persistence, because what I need is I need ways to deal with rats, especially little rats, especially rats that have exactly 1 toughness because of Rat Colony, the card they have right here. Rat Colony is able to just keep swinging in, huh? Let's go ahead and take out that Rat Colony. There is no Rat Colony. There's never been a Rat Colony. Arcane Signet, followed by yet another rat. Use Springbloom Dryad to sacrifice my land and get another one. And unless they give their rats fear, which is a thing that you can usually do in these rat decks, I'll be able to trade my Springbloom Dryad for another rat. Good rat. It's a good rat. Oh, another rat colony, followed by another rat colony. They attack in, we trade. And hello, Massacre Worm. I'm like trying to decide here. Do I want to like double spell removal? Do I want to play the Gitrog Monster? I think I'm going to play Gitrog Monster, but my assumption is I'm going to actually be trading this in combat this turn. Okay, never mind. Sacrifice this. We get to draw. See if we find some lands. We found a land. Let's scry, see if there's a land on top of my deck. There is a land on top of my deck. I could pay a ton of life to put that land in hand. I really want to win from Massacre Worm, so I'm totally just doing this. I've got a game plan, okay? I've got a game plan. So this lets them play all the rats on top of their deck. Nice rats. Tangled Colony, it's rats. Stop not attacking me! Make these bigger. Decline. Now, excuse me. I have some rats to exterminate. Mission accomplished! For a deck that has like 44 lands in it, we sure are bad at drawing them. Ah, it's a bird rat! Oh, sorry, it's a rat bird. You know, some people call those bats. I'll swing in with my Massacre Worm. Somebody in chat says, that's a pigeon! Yep, that's a pigeon right there. We're gonna use our Primeval Titan. We're gonna grab some lands. I'll grab Argoth and Bajukabog. I'm gonna bog their graveyard to remove those rats. Since there are 2 spells that can bring all rats back, I just want to make sure I'm not dealing with that. Harmonics! Their hand is mostly empty, so they're gonna get some more rats. And also, now their rats are toxic. More rats. I like their Wicker Wing effigy synergy here. It's a cool use of this card. Tireless Provisioner. Because we're about to get some triggers. Off our Primeval Titan attacking in. I'll swing in. Yes, I would like 2 lands. Thank you very much. I'm going to grab one of the self-sacrificing lands for even more triggers. If I can find it. Riveteer's Overlook. There it is. And doesn't really matter for the second one. I guess I'll just grab, like, Ghost Quarter. This is a rat race. More triggers. More! This has Trample. If their creatures die, they will lose life. And their creatures will die. We've got the Sheldred's Edict ready to rumble. Let's do it. Sacrifice a non-token creature, please. Choose wisely. Blot Out actually does not kill their creature, just exiles their biggest creature, which in this case would be the Wicker Wing effigy. And I'll just play something that's big, trampling, and reaching. It's a 14/14 with reach and trample. It's a big card. More rats. More rats. Pack Rat! Oh, I love Pack Rat! Pack Rat also lets them discard to make copies of Pack Rat. They go to 1 life. They lose the game. GG, rats. Yeruk, the Desecrated. Yeruk, the Desecrated is Sultai. Enter the battlefield because you get to enter the battlefield and then trigger it again. Any permanent that triggers an enter the battlefield ability for your cards gets to happen twice. And that means you can do things like draw cards an extra time. Or you can do bigger, scarier things like kill your opponent's creature. Or exile their graveyards. There's so many things that get the double trigger that are just so strong. I could set up for my own ramp, or I could hit their ramp here. I'm gonna go for Lotus Cobra and hope that this sticks around. In Sultai colors, you have so many strong abilities. Like green, you even have Enter the Battlefield ramp. Defense of the Heart. I guess they really don't want me to play a lot of creatures. I'll probably have to tear asunder that. Pretty much if I have 3 or more creatures, they can just get a game-winning combo of creatures. It's a really weird card to have in Arena. Hey, Defense of the Heart. See what we get off Nissa? Oh, wait, no, this is just the first trigger for Nissa. Yeah, I'll just exile it now. Bam. There is no Defense of the Heart. Okay, green did not need this, and I feel like the decks that play Defense of the Heart are almost never mono-green decks. Okay, Confounding Conundrum means that a second land entering the battlefield during my turn will get bounced back into my hand. This pretty much means that Gitrog Monster can't do Gitrog Monster things. And that's a shame, because I love my frog. And if my frog can't play the game, well, then I'm just gonna be sad. Hoo 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 hoo. Have a spider. Also die. Swinging in for 5. Put a reliquary tower into the graveyard. Eric's out. 3/5. Death Touch. Lifelink. Good card. Also, going to kill it. But first, we need the Conduit of Worlds down. Have to pay a life for that peatland. And we could play any of these lands. If I play this and then crack it open, I'll have to bounce it back into my hand, which I do not like. I'd actually have to bounce 2 cards back into my hand as long as Eric is still alive. So we're just going to remove that, lose 2 life, and swing in. Yeah, having your, like, I play multiple lands per turn strategy hit by a confounding conundrum can be really, really rough. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. They bounced my Conduit of Worlds back in hand. I feel like this card should be symmetrical. That would be a good way to kind of like keep it in line. Conduit of Worlds. Castle Locthwain. I can sacrifice that. I'm not going to. And I'm going to attack in with, actually, I think all of these. I feel like I'm putting the pressure on for them to have to make those trades. And if I'm not casting any spells from my hand, I could actually bring back a permanent from my graveyard using Conduit of Worlds. It's like a mini Muldrotha. Alright, we've got Nissa, Terramorphic Expanse. I'm looking at this Emrakul. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's start with a swing. We're down to 5. We get our Terramorphic Expanse. And we're gonna start getting silly, because I'm playing the Pool of Vigorous Growth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna drop that Necroblossom Snarl, since we can play it from graveyard anyway. Oh, I got the Beeper of the Babels! If I had done that pre-combat, I actually would have drawn a card, because of Nissa. Cool pig. Enraged Forerunners gets them some damage. Since this is 7, swinging in. Gonna crack this open. I could save it for like a potential Emrakul turn next turn, but it's a little risky. And again, like putting it back into hand stinks. Right now, though, we can get them pretty darn low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got our 8, 9. Do you think Emrakul is Emrakul? Yeah, it is. I don't have any creature lands here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8. You know what I want? Craterhoof Behemoth. No, but that wins me the game, so that works. Magmatic Force at the beginning of each upkeep. I deal 3 damage to their face and we win the game. It's completely random. This is one of my favorite pet cards. Shout out to Momir Vig. He's the real MVP. And Carson Druitt for the 30-month resub. Fun fact, Carson Druitt made most of my good emotes. The ones that like look like they were done by an artist. You want to know who did it? Carson Druitt. Rankle, Master of Pranks, makes you discard, sacrifice, and draw cards, as they will. I am not a great deck against Rankle because I'm not good at getting lots of creatures on the battlefield to sacrifice, but I do have something in my hand that lets me turn cards in hand into creatures I can sacrifice. It's the Pool of Vigorous Growth. This is not actually that good of a card. Do not drop it. Do not. I need that. Take my removal instead. Oh, you rude. But it's one of my favorite cards, so I'm really sad that it's in the graveyard now. This is Momir Vig. This is the Momir Vig emblem. It lets me get silly and discard my lands, which triggers the Gitrog Monster, to make random tokens. And I'm sad because it's in the graveyard. Hi, Black Market Connection. I feel like I could put this in this deck. It's not one of those cards that feels necessary, but it's just a really good card. Oracle of Malady. Do I have an extra land on top of my deck? I don't, but I have one in hand, and I will use it, and I will attack. Bam. Do you pay the 6? Pay the 6. Black Market Connection lets you pay life for treasures, cards, and tokens! Oh, they didn't make the creature token. Darn. Dread Presence if they have a swamp. Entering the battlefield, let them kill one of these, or just draw a card. Bye, Oracle of Malady. I miss you already. I could eat this. Delicious. I don't have a land in the graveyard. So playing the Ramenap Excavator is really just a way of saying, hey, now I have 2 choices. Gitrog Monster's like, I could put lands in the graveyard. Yes, sweetie, we know. Sweetie, we know. Phyrexian Obliterator. That's a thing that's going to need some targeted removal, because unfortunately, if I deal damage to it, well, I have to sacrifice my permanents. Thankfully, mono black deck means they don't have access to any fight spells, so the Fight Club is not online. Yeah, making Phyrexian Obliterator fight things is so rude. Yeah, I'll take 5. Hopefully no board wipes, no blood on the snows. I see that snow-covered swamp. Oh, just a hero's downfall. Killing my frog. I'll put it back in the command zone. We have 4 mana. Didn't play Rankle this turn. That's okay. How many things would I like to uproot? So let's go 1, 2, 3. Let's just go all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to turn all of these into creatures. It's not going to get me any damage this turn. That's why I was debating if I wanted to do fewer. Because if I did just 2, I could have attacked with 2 of them. But if these die, I also get a forest in play. These are also now creatures. And them being creatures means that I can sacrifice them to Rankle. Oh, wow. Losing life there, killing my Ramenap Excavator. They do have to pay at least 1 life here off Black Market Connection. Going down to 4. Still not making any teeny tiny changelings. Hello, opponent. With your scary obliterator. Shadow Spear means they can gain life to undo all the life that they're losing off that. Would you like to gain 6 life? Ooh, would you like to gain 8 life? Murderous Rider also does have lifelink. Well, like, life stink. I can sacrifice the thing that's being blocked, but they would still gain 2. And I'd have to leave 2 things back. waits. Like, I can attack in with 2 to deal 2 here. I don't think it's really worth it, so I'm just going to wait. Because then bringing them down to 2, they're still alive, and then they can still swing and gain all that life. They paid the 1, made a treasure. They have 6, 7, 8 mana right now. Once I use this Endless Restoration, I'll actually be able to play some of these creatures in hand at least. Oh, nice. Sword of Body and Mind. These are all colorless creatures. I say that because this gives protection from green and blue, which it might look like these are green. They're not. They're not. I'm gonna make a huge Obliterator. Because it has Trample, I can't, like, sacrifice the thing blocking it. The damage will still go through. And I'm not blocking with all of these. That's a bad idea, and we're not going to do it. You gain 8 life. And you mill me a bunch. And you get a dog! Bark, bark. If I block it, I'll get a fresh board. No, because I'll have to sacrifice a lot of permanents. More permanents than I have. Oh, you mean a clean board. Like, no permanents. Yeah, I'll have no permanents. I am going to sacrifice a forest. I know, I'm getting rid of some of my creatures here. Get another forest too off the sacrificed thing. But what I need here is mana, and what I get here is mana. Treasure, treasure, treasure! Oh, hi, Nissa. Do I have anything huge in my graveyard? I have that Eat that I could bring back, but I wouldn't be able to play it this turn. The Auto-Tapper didn't want to use my treasures because they are temporary mana. Undo one of those. Perfect. We're going to use the Worm. To go Worm. Tireless Provisioner is dead. Still have 2 mana left. I know this will always be holding priority, by the way, just because that's how it goes. The Worm kills the Wolf. Makes the Murderous Rider no longer gaining life. We swing in with each of these. And they'll take 4 damage, and if they decide to block with the Murderous Rider, another 2, so that's 6. No matter what, it's going to bring them pretty low. But then they have the potential to gain a lot of life back. Again, lifelink. But also, Black Market Connections, I have to pay at least 1. Are land creatures always colorless? No. There are some things that when they animate lands, they make them a color. But if it just says it is a land that's now a creature, like Nissa, like Uprooting, it doesn't. These are just colorless because the card itself is colorless. But there's a Emergence. That's a card that, just as an example, would make your lands into blue-green fractals. It even gives them a creature type. Right, so since this leaves the battlefield, we do get another forest into play. That's an Ulamog. They gain 10 life. I'm now at 2. And they go from 2 to 12. And I hate to say it, but I think that's going to be the end of the game because I just can't recover. I've got this Nissa here. Cool. She doesn't give me enough power to break through this board. That's gonna be game. I'll say GG. Pass the turn and concede. GG, Rankle, Master of Pranks. Nissa, Ascended Animus. That's actually a card in this deck. This is a weird hand because we do have black mana, but we can only use it for legends. But I do have turn 1 ramp, and I can't turn that down. Oh, look! Found black mana. Black's an intruder. Okay. She's got adventures, and she can be bears. We've got an elf druid. Hi, Goldilocks. I think I'm just going to be killing, Actually, I don't have this Nissa in this deck. I had her in at one point, and I took her out. Gonna be a lot of green ramp, though. Yep, that's green ramp. She's a little girl with a knife. I mean, that's already tapped. It doesn't untap it. We're gonna kill the Llanowar tribe. Got ourselves a reliquary tower. And we romp! Ramp, ramp. Since everything in my hand is green, let's keep things looking green. Green and shiny and good. I saw you shuffle on the playlist. You tried to play the same song twice. Just one was the instrumental and the other one wasn't. I had my playlist on shuffle, right? Somehow shuffle got taken off. I bet, like, Spotify updated last night and I just missed it happening. Wow, a lot of green ramp. So their hope, I think, with this Nissa is just a -7 with a big board full of weenies. That's pretty fair. Let's get out prime time here. Get myself a nice thick blocker. And which lands do I want? You go for a creature land and a sacrifice land. I'm gonna go for a scry land. Castle Locthwain. Scry, Ancient Green Warden, lets me replay lands from the graveyard if we end up with lands in our graveyard, and the Gitrog puts them in our graveyard. Yeah, Crater Hoof in the command zone, spits out big creatures, can destroy artifacts and enchantments. She's quite good. Hello, Nissa! I don't think they can kill me off just giving these +5/+5. So instead, they're gonna make big, scary horrors! And I don't know, they make them exile them. Or not them, but, like, Nissa. Bye, Nissa! It's bigger than my Primeval Titan. So that's something. I could play Ancient Green Warden. I could play the Gitrog Monster here. I can even play Timeless Witness. I could, like, attack in, get lands, play Timeless Witness, bring it back. Options, options, options. I'll play the Gitrog Monster. It's my commander. I want it to be out here. Who's my good frog? You're my good frog. They can replay Nissa this turn. They do have enough mana dorks. Are you plussing again? Young lady, you stop making these 8/8s. Man, I could trade. But I want to draw cards. But I'm also fine with trading. I can also just jump off. Boop. The halfling gets in the way. We love that for her. I'll sacrifice a land. I'll sacrifice this forest. Play a land. Play a land. Attack Nissa. Get some lands. And I want the self-sacrificing land. I don't think I played it yet. Yep, Ribbiting's Overlook. And the other one is less important. I guess I'll go for... Lair. Sacrifices, draws me a card. And that Nissa, still a big chunky problem, so we're going to blot her out again. Timeless Witness, bring out the blot out.
You won't stop the coming invasion.
Now cease your rampery! They played a land. Nissa costs... Oh my gosh, 11 since we've killed her twice? Oh. Wait.
Welcome.
What?
My companion.
Where's, Magic? I don't know what's going on, but the lady who's in their command zone is also on their battlefield right now. No. What's freaking me out is not that they cast her again. That's legit. What's freaking me out is that she's also up here. That's weird. Let's get rid of her. Rena, you're such a special girl.
The entire forest is in
Rena. Sweetie. Look at their hand. There's one card in hand. Well, they might not be seeing what I'm seeing. Do you think I should emote at them, though? I'll eat some popcorn. Because I know Nissa Hoof can kill me. I have a secret extra chump blocker here with Lair of the Hydra. We have some nice big blockers. Thank you, Tree. Right now, they don't have mana for Nissa Hoof. They just got 2 more mana. Why is that attacking me? Guess 1, 2. We block. We block. We block. And we block. Looks good to me. Trades ahoy! Back to the command zone with thee. We can't kill them by attacking. Cool Takanuma. Let me see what else we got in the grave. Magic is just acting up. Yeah, that's, you know, that's not the weirdest thing. Only Nissa is showing the commander tax. Yeah. At least I know I'm not going crazy because the people in my chat can see this too. And I'm pretty sure they can play it and they can hoof and kill me. 9, 10, 11. So they have 11. Oh, but no, we have enough blockers because these 2 won't be able to attack. Because it gives them +9, +9, which I have a ton of toughness. Yeah, maybe I'm just so mad with magic that, like, I'm causing a collective hallucination that's being captured on video. Psychic powers are so overwhelming. Like a double Nissa! Amy, wake up. You've been in a coma for 10,000 years. You're living in a machine that only lets you play Magic the Gathering. Oh, hi, Arboreal Grazer. I guess I'll eat, Bajookabog. I'm out here pogging and bogging. This should gain me... Just give me 1 life. It doesn't get double of that trigger. I could make another big tree. Just put the non-lands in graveyard. I can, I guess, bring back off Witness. I think it's important that I get something else out here. So I have to survive. One, 2, 3, 4. Don't mind me. The only land you don't want to get in this situation is Lotus Field, because it will force you to sacrifice additional lands. Unless you're, like, desperately digging. Which, at this moment, I don't think I am. Want to gain a life. And they're going to leave the game. Because we can survive. Tons and tons of toughness is how we win this game. GG. Ariette of the Charmed Apple. Ooh, she's got some tasty snacks for me and some tasty auras. Ariette drains you for life at the end of turn, based on a number of auras you control. Ariette's pretty cool. It's a little scary. Thankfully, we have the ability to kill her and her friends. I think that Ariette's a lot better in paper, though, because in Arena, you kind of suffer from there's just not that many good auras. And that's okay. There don't have to be. If I play Lotus Field here, I'll have to sacrifice these 2 lands. Instead, I'm just going to hold up this blot out. It's a decent piece of removal. By the way, if you're wondering where's this card from, it's from Mercy the Machine, The Aftermath. A set which only sort of exists. Oh, this is actually perfect. This Catilda can be replayed from graveyard as an aura, so exiling her means I don't have to worry about that. If I go for Lotus Field here, I am better set up for Gitrog Monster, but instead I want to play Augur of Autumn. It lets me play lands off the top of my deck, like this one. I am using my recording voice. It's because I'm making a recording and I'm trying to explain as many of the cards as I can in as short of a period of time as I can. If only we had the untapped overlay in my videos. If you're watching this on my stream, you can hover over my cards and see their details. It's really, really helpful. Chaldred, get out here. Evolving Wilds, get out here. Chaldred, punish their card draw. As for Sentinel, I'm going to draw them cards if I cast non-creature spells without paying this extra tax once per turn. They've got 5 mana. Ooh, Elesh Norn stomps enter the battlefields. That's actually kind of lit. Allow me to demonstrate why. Lotus Field doesn't make me sacrifice lands. Thanks, Elesh Norn! She's like, what? What? Whee! Sheldred, go get him! It's like there's a Lotus Field Stifle deck that's out there. Perfect. When it enters the battlefield, normally you have to sacrifice 2 lands, but thanks to Mommy Norn over here, no I don't. Hey, don't blight my hive of the Eye Tyrants. I'm using that. Haha, you drew a land. You must die. Hi, Elesh Norn. If you attack and you are getting blocked. Oh, wow. They shocked something in. What are they doing with 4 mana? If you use Lotus Field and Blood Sun, it comes in untapped. Doesn't sack, but still gives you 3 mana. Why does it still give you 3 mana? Doesn't it just turn into a mountain? I guess I'll just sacrifice the Hive of the Eye Tyrant so they have fewer auras in play. Oh, Blood Sun, not Blood Moon. Sorry, Blood Sun. Okay, that makes sense. I've got this. This isn't enter to the battlefield. This isn't enter to the battlefield. So we'll go for this, because it's not enter to the battlefield based. I can still play the Lotus Cobra, so I will. And I'm going to swing in with... Do I want both of the Death Touchers in? I'm just going to swing in with Gitrog. Would I like to pay the 1? Yeah, I will. Children, make them perish. I can also draw additional cards by using my Ghost Quarter to destroy either their land or my land. Okay, Heliod's punishment means that Children does not have text until she's been tapped a bunch of times. We can destroy the Heliod's punishment with this Vraska, though. The Vigilant Scowls are swinging in. Kapow. Curse of Silence. They can see the Vraska on top of my deck, so they might name Vraska. Curse of You named my frog! Hi, Ariette. They have 2 auras. 1, 2. So they will gain 2, and I will lose 2. I will sacrifice my Boseiju. Lands go down, but number go up. Ooh, a land. Oh, I was like, why are you blinking? Because of Lotus Cobra. Fine, then. Be gone, Elesh Norn. I don't have any more lands, though. So, let me just free my girl. The girl is free! Long live the queen! The Golgari queen. They could double block Sheldred. Hey, they're doing it! I am not paying. Was that 3 triggers? Because I hit 3 different things. Yep. Ow. Oof. Ow. They have 5 life left. They only have 6 mana. That's enough for Ariette, who does gain them 1 life. Ew! An ethereal armor to make her chunky! And first strikey. I will sacrifice... If near dead lands. Ooh, a worm. Aw, Fabled Passage was on top. Finding the Old God says grab a forest. I'll grab a forest that comes in tapped. They know I have a worm, though. So we're pretty much guaranteed to kill them this turn. GG. Kroxa, Titan of Death's Hunger, makes me discard. And I lose life if I discard a land. But, or I should say, I lose life if I don't discard a non-land. Because if I discard nothing, I still lose 3 life. Hi, Kroxa. That can actually be a bit of an upside for me, because if I'm discarding a land, then the Gitrog Monster says, oh, a land went to the graveyard, and draws me a fresh card. This hand is like a bunch of really weird lands all in a pile, which is fine. And also, we can bring some of them back with Blossoming Tortoise. Hi, Blossoming Tortoise! You let me bring back lands. You're like a baby Gitrog. The Git Turtle. I love the Git Turtle monster. I have nothing to cast on 2, so I'll crack this open, grab some black mana. Or do I want more green mana? I don't think it really matters. I think I'm sacrificing these lands to the turtle anyway. Or to Lotus Field so I can play the turtle. Here's Kroxa. What am I dropping here? I think Murderous Rider. Nothing to hit off you. Since we really want to make sure we're playing that turtle next turn, sacrifice our lands. I have 1 land now. Faithless Looting. They're going to fill up their graveyard so they can hopefully escape Kroxa. They have 2 mana up. And a Chromatic Star. That lets them transform 1 piece of mana and draw a card. It's mostly a way to fill up the graveyard for Kroxa. Unearth. Ooh, bringing out the Kroxa again. I'll drop Elspeth's Nightmare, maybe? I mean, I can use that to exile that graveyard, but I think it's more important to hold the lot out. And I always want to have, like, a big threat like Emrakul. You know what? We can drop it. We're very far from it, though. I have ways to bring creatures back from graveyard to hand. They have 5 in the graveyard, so it's a lot more likely they'll be able to bring that out. Definitely good at attacking my hand so far this game. Alright, what do you want to do? You've got 1 mana. You want to draw a card? What's the hold up? What are you thinking about over there, Kroxa? Alright, we got a forest. I will play the tortoise. And the tortoise lets me bring back one of those sacrificed lands. It also mills me! So I might want to grab a different land. I like this Restless Cottage for this next turn. Or Evolving Wilds if I want to specifically draw off Gitrog Monster to refill my hand. I think I'll grab the Evolving Wilds. Since that way I can play the Ghost Quarter, play Gitrog Monster, sacrifice this, and draw a card. Then potentially playing another card. Or bringing another card back from graveyard by attacking with the Blossoming Tortoise. Bit of reunion! Alright, so they're not bringing out Kroxa this next turn because they don't have enough in graveyard and they don't have enough mana. I'll claim the fame. On a heartless act! Yeah, it was pretty heartless, killing a turtle like that. But would you also kill a frog? Oh gosh, my cat is barfing in the other room. Sweetie! Poor girl. Oh, Goblin. Hey, alright. After this game, I'll have to take a short break to clean up my kitty cat's barf. Poor kitty. I'll have to give her an extra breakfast, too. Yeah. Gitrog Monster says, oh boy, lands in the graveyard. You have 4 mana. They can, by the way, turn this red mana into black mana and then bring out Kroxa. That's not what they're going to do. Instead, they are going to use a double black mana for Hagra Mauling, killing my commander. I will take it out of the graveyard, put it back over here. Alright, we have removal, removal, and removal. Let's just play the frog. It makes me happy to have my commander out rather than just holding up removal. If I wanted to be cheeky, I could do, like, throw down the Elspeth's Nightmare to force them to bring out their commander faster before I exile their graveyard. But, I don't know, I want them to be able to do stuff with their commander too. Girl. Poor kitty. Being all barfy. Yes, it is time for Kroxa! They could even give Kroxa haste. I will discard Soldier's Edict. Oh, they're gonna give it haste with Bitter Reunion. I'll drop Tear Ass. I don't really want to block. I want to do things with my commander. Sacrifice a forest, please. Grab a land. Virtue. Hi, Scraps. Yeah, girl, I know. It's been a rough day. Blood Out is instant speed, so I want to use it right when they are going to go to combat. Now, they could replay their Kroxa from command zone after, because this does exile. Yeah. Is that so, girl? You feel gross because you barf? Or are you in super playtime mode? Whee! Yeah, whenever she barfs, she gets really excited. She's like, oh boy! I no longer feel disgusting. It's party time! Is it party time, girl? It is party time. You want to come up on the desk? Yeah, you smell like you barfed. This is... Do you guys know the little meme of, Mom, I flew up? It's that. Show me your secrets! Ah, I see a Valky, too. Let's swing in with our good friend Hive of the Eye Tyrant and exile their Kroxa. So Blood Out isn't necessarily a better Soul Shatter. I did replace it in this deck. There's an upside and a downside for it. And the big upsides and downsides for it are that this one exiles rather than sacrifice, but it is targeting and it only hits one opponent. So in 1v1, if your opponent can give itself hexproof, then it doesn't get through that. But if you're in a multiplayer table, being able to make everybody sacrifice versus one player sacrifice can be a pretty big difference. I didn't draw a land. I drew an Augur of Autumn, though. That lets me play lands off the top. Girl, where'd you go? Well, you just threw up. If you go and eat grass, you're just gonna make your tummy hurt more. Don't. Don't. I'll give you more breakfast, princess. Care to escape? Better do it before I exile that whole graveyard. Oh, I'm actually going to sacrifice my commander, I think. Part of the cards. I will simply draw everything I could ever want. Oh, like lands. See, that's perfect. Copy to Floppy. Thank you so much for the sub. Like, I'm at 2 lands now. Like, yeah, sure, okay. Because I'm at 2 lands, I'm doing this. I have nothing to discard, and I have the Virtue of Persistence hanging out on the side. No, girl, don't eat the grass. Baby, no. Baby, no.
So you've seen through my disguise.
He's purring so loud. Oh, they're exiling my Gitrog Monster. I'll choose to put it back in my command zone. Right now, I am threatening lethal. Blood Tithe Harvester got themselves a blocker, but they have to be able to block Hive of the Eye Tyrant because it has Menace. Not right, girl? It's got Menace. All right, so if I attack in there, I can deal 2. If I use Nissa, they could block both. Yeah, you're so good. You're such a good girl. Kill the Blood Tithe Harvester. You are being such a little rascal this game. I know it's because you threw up. Zart! 0 by 83. Thank you for the 3-month resub. Oh, Prime Time. That's a great card to get. If they attack in, we do have to discard our Nissa. Yeah, I know. Girl, I know. You should tap your Mountain Doom and get mana off it. You are so smelly. Yes, you, because you just barfed. You are so funny. I love you, Scraps. You are a handful, but you are the best kitty I know. Dang. All right, Nissa means I won't have another attacker here, because that doesn't have haste. Ha! A land! All right, so we're going to throw this down. Hand empty, head empty. Bam. More mana. Is she Maine Coon? She's just a mutt. She's a little mutt butt. Hear that, girl? You have no traceable genetic lineage because you were a red. She is really cute, though. You got my land! Ooh, a good troll. With Super Menace! Wish I had Super Menace. I'm gonna take 3 from not being able to discard, and another 6 from Kroxa. It is a land. I can make food to try and keep myself alive, but I don't actually think that that's gonna get me very far. I have a land in hand. Also, does not get me very far. I have nothing I can really do except for maybe playing the Gitrog Monster, but I can't block all these. They're all 6/6s. Had I top-decked some removal, we could be good. But I didn't. So we're not. I will say, good game. Pass the turn. I exile the land. We had a pool of vigorous growth. That could have been very funny. But too little, too late. They swing in! And it's victory for Kroxa. Or at least it will be victory for Kroxa when they... Yep, there we go. Perfect. GG. Aragorn the Uniter. Aragorn the Uniter is 4-color, multicolored spells because depending on the color of spell you cast, you get different triggers. And those triggers vary based on that color. So if you cast a white spell, you get a token. Blue spell, you scry. Red spell, you burn your opponent's face. And green spell, you buff up something beyond all belief. Seriously, this buff is huge. Hi, Aragorn. Aragorn himself, still 4 mana, 5/5, and you'll see various versions of this deck focused on certain colors. My version was focused on Naya, really looking to beat down. It was pretty fun, too. Go ahead and ramp. Looks like they want to go fast. I've also seen some, like, control versions of this deck. I'm not as big a fan of those. I wonder why. I'm just not that big of a fan of control. But seriously, I've seen essentially blue-white Aragorn decks. I think they're silly. Have a frog. Mystical Dispute. That's a monocolored spell. Why are you running a monocolored spell here? Aragorn? Okay, so this looks like it's going to be a spelly version of Aragorn casting instants and sorceries. They said, Frog, I win at an argument with you. because you do not have 3 mana to pay. Underrealm Lich. And a Llanowar Elf. Playing the Underrealm Lich because it can survive a board wipe. Yes, have to pay for life. And it's also really, really good with the Gitrog Monster. Ooh, please attack in. I want a double block. Let's put some cards in our graveyard. Put a couple lands in there so I can use them. Bring them back with the Ancient Green Warden. Or the Ramanop Excavator. They both can do it. Have a delighted halfling. Delighted. And delightful. Just look at her. She's so cute. Kogla and Yadaro. They cast a red and green spell, which means they get +4/+4. And either a fight or haste. Alright, so they're going for a fight. I am going to make my Green Warden indestructible and untargetable. That way, if they attack in, I can also just block here. Alright, the Virtue doesn't kill any of those, but I could just cast it to bring back the other things we're putting in the graveyard, so I will grab that. Some other stuff goes into my gravy. That's good, good gravy. Sure, I'll play the Excavator. Unlike normal Kogla, this does not destroy an artifact or enchantment when it attacks him. It does have a cycling ability that does that, though. Showdown of the Skulls exiles the top 4 cards, gets them 3 damage to my face and a token. They'll be able to cast these for the next 2 turns. Lightning Helix, they cannot cast it. Rivendell, they can play it. Branch Loft Pathway, Bark Channel Pathway. Bark, bark, bark. Skrelv! Get another token! It's a good token. Don't mind me just looking at potential creatures to bring back. Right now it's just that tortoise. Ooh, would you like to protect? They can make something unblockable by my green creatures that are all green creatures. The tortoise! Boop, boop, boop. Look, a land. Okay, let's see. Vraska can destroy the booties. But I kind of want to try to mill half my deck. It's really fun. I can do both. Yeah, get you a girl who can do both. We're going to use this to destroy our own forest. And, I want Lotus Cobra. Land goes in the graveyard. Ooh, a Reliquary Tower. Too bad. Dryad lets me play extra lands. A Castle Evolving Wilds. Oh, let's take the Provisioner. Lands go in the graveyard, because we can play them from the graveyard. Multani! We actually want Multani in the graveyard. Puts lands back in my hand. A Spider. Puts more lands in my graveyard. Excellent. I think Blot Out seems pretty decent here, so I'll grab that. Would I like to search my library for a basic land? I sure would. Oh, look, a land was put into my graveyard. How convenient. Let's see, we got Into the North, Lure to Hydra. I don't really want any of these. I'll just put the forest in hand. And right now I need to get a mono black creature. We have the Murderous Rider to help out with that. Uprooting! That actually gets me colorless creatures. 12 can't deal with colorless creatures. Cool. Okay, we have not played our land yet, so let's grab a Reliquary Tower. Oops, I meant to play the Lotus Cobra first, so let me get that down now before I forget. Before I start playing anything else. You're saying, but Amy, you can't play more lands. Yes, I can. Each of these will trigger twice because of the Ancient Green Warden. I need more cards. I agree. I do need more cards. Soldier's weird here because I don't actually draw any cards. Binding and Infernal Grasp. I'll take a binding. Yeah, I'm gonna put as much of my deck in my hand as I can here. Looking if I have any other funky landfalls. I got rid of all of the things that like immediately put all my lands from my graveyard back into play, which is a shame. Ooh, a pool. I like the pool. Causes chaos. Give me the pool. Augur. Mm-hmm. Okay, Baleful Mastery. Eat. Harrow. I want the Harrow in hand. We only have like 2 basics left. We'll see if we can end our chain here. Okay, perfect. We are going to say hello with a Harrow. Oh, there's only 1 left. I don't want to let my opponent play Magic? Well, no, because they're going to win if I let them play Magic. Which means that we have to win by stopping them from playing the Magic. It's perfect. Okay, where's the cards? Oh gosh, I can't actually navigate my hand here. This is very silly. No, I'm not trying to cast Harrow. I'm trying to cast Binding. They're baleful. There we go. No. Ah. There we go. Come on. Yeah! I did it! Would you like to protect? Enjoy your card draw! And we played a Reliquary Tower, so like I don't have to discard here. Some stuff happens. Great. Triggers. Oh boy. I have options. Great. I wish I knew what they were. L. Oh, Eve L Queen. Thank you for the sub. What's going on? You know, playing Magic. I put a lot of creatures in my graveyard, which is important because I can bring them back with the Virtue of Persistence. My goal next turn, by the way, is to cast Emrakul, the Promised End, take my opponent's next turn, mess up all their stuff, and win from there. I think we'd probably want to bring back Multani, since Multani would be like a 30-something, 30-something. Or maybe a Shia, similarly very large, but not as tramply. We can do both, though. Do I have a Splendid Reclamation? Sure don't. I have more cards in hand than I do in my library. Prismari Command. Gonna make me draw and discard? Okay, I'll put the land in hand. So what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to prevent it from going any deeper. Don't show me the Scoot Swarm. Discard 2. I will discard Ren and... Actually, Ren and 7 could be cute. Augur and... Vine Soul. There are 9 cards remaining in my library, but I do not lose by drawing. My turn! I am actually going to sacrifice my Gitrog Monster here. Worm! Whee! Oh, but attacking in with 6 sounds so good. You know what? No, you get to stay alive. I will sacrifice Swamp. It shall be grand. We have to pick the land, otherwise we'll end up with nothing left. Which, like, that's fine. Uh-oh, double lands! May as well click the Deathsprout. It still only triggers once if we mill 2 lands, by the way. Oh, so cash. I'm gonna take Meathook Massacre here. So we are not drawing cards because of Underrealm Lich. That's just what the card says. Where's that Scoot Swarm? Did I put it in my hand? I can't see anything. I can't tell. We're gonna kill their Koga and Yadaro. It's in the graveyard. Okay, that's fine. Negate. That's fine. I have more where that came from. Oh boy, do I ever. I just have to... I have to find it. Sure, Tireless Provisioner. Land. Float some mana. Underrealm Lich is very fun. I will grab... Doesn't matter. That one! Just need the mana. We can play a 3rd land, too. Emrakul. Great, alright, attack in. Pretty sure they're just dead from this. Sure, I have a Temple of Malady. What does my opponent think about this turn? Please stop. Please leave. I'm just a Whittles guy. And, we win. Through whatever this is. I would tell you what it is, but I can't even see all the cards in my hand. Good game! Thank you so much for watching this episode of Brawl Stars. As always, if you'd like to watch me record these live, come on over to twitch.tv/Amazonian, where I stream almost every single day. And if you're looking for the deck list, it is in the description. I am looking at getting a website, which I can put on YouTube for people to copy-paste deck lists from, because I guess mobile users don't want to just, like, go to the URL. But until then, I have to find one that's fully compatible. Moxfield looks like potential, but it's not set up yet. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deck, please let me know. If there's another deck you'd like to see me revisit or build fresh and new, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and have a brawlful day.